it's Chinyere here. So guys, today another story time. I don't know if you guys remember, but I did a vlog. It was around my birthday time. You don't have to watch it, but pretty much at the end of it, because the vlogs are like an hour, come on. I told a story about this guy I had hung out for the day, but you know, he ended up being the storage guy. Let's talk about it. Okay, so the lighting is probably going to go in and out. People think all kinds of crazy stuff about me being lighter and me being darker. Guys, I don't care about how I look, like as far as color wise comes. As long as you guys can see me, I'm good. So I don't care if I'm dark in one video, if I'm light in one video. I don't really think about it. But I see that people are really color conscious on here. Like, stop picking apart things. And I'm only bringing it to attention because multiple people have talked about it. Anyway, that's a big side note. So for those of you that are new here, you may or may not know, but I do like clinical studies. And with the clinical studies, a lot of us get together because, you know, we're all trying to make money, and sometimes we don't want to travel alone, or we're trying to save money because we're doing so much traveling or whatever. So we'll go in groups. So it'll be like, I don't know, you meet somebody in a group and you just start talking to them, and then you exchange numbers, and then it's like, oh, we live in the same area, we can go to this study, and we can like split up on gas and all that stuff. So me and it's like me and 3 other people, we simultaneously text each other weekly. We need to know, like, sometimes we're wondering, like, are we gonna get paid this week? Or do you know how much the next check is gonna be? Or hey, you're over 55, like, there's a study for you, because it's harder for studies for them. And then this one, you have to be non-childbearing. It'll be stuff like that. And we'll just text each other, like, this one's high paying. That's how it is. And then we'll see if we can go together. Now, oh, see, the light's going in and out. This guy in particular, he kind of went against the grain, and he asked me to hang out outside of the group. Now, when I say that, I mean, like, after a big study, typically, like, ours was kind of big. It was really draining and annoying. So we would go and, like, afterwards we would just go, like, IHOP and go out to eat, because sometimes you're stuck in the facility for 3 weeks. Sometimes you're only there for 3 days. Like, but no matter how long you're in the facility, it seems like, afterwards, you just want to get a big ass meal. Like, you feel like you just been so drained that you know what I mean? So that's what I'm talking about. He would just always ask me out. He would always say, you want to go blah blah, you want to do this, you want to do that, like, let's go out, let's do something. I would always say no, and I can't give you guys a specific reason why. I just was never in the mood. Like, after I leave my outpatient, I literally would be driving from like Austin to Dallas, and I just wanted to get back. I don't want to deal with traffic. I don't want to hang out. I don't want to drive to 30 minutes to my brother's house. I just want to get back. So I would always just say no, pretty much is why. And also, what he would be asking me to do is go to the casino. The casino is only 40 minutes from Dallas. It's in Oklahoma. Dallas is at North Texas. Oklahoma, the part of the casinos were at the very, like, the borders. And it would sound great. He would always, like, show me pictures and say, you know, I gamble so much that I get a free room. You can come hang out. We can get double beds. He would always say that. And I'm just like, no, like, I just, you know, it just didn't sound interesting. I wanted to get back home. Anyway, after like 5 months, you know, we always text each other about new studies. I see him at a screening because I told him, hey, you know, you want to go half on gas? He was already in San Antonio, and we chit-chatted, and then I saw him like 2 weeks later because we had to go back to our next outpatient visit. Now, one day I went to Dallas early because I was supposed to be going to Baltimore, and I didn't. This was in March for my birthday. So he's like, well, you know, and I was really, really down. They had actually canceled the screening. I had bought a plane ticket. I was literally sitting in the parking lot, as you guys saw in the vlog, to like park my car and, you know, go bring my bags to the claim. And I just had like a really long day. I had never been to DFW airport. I had no idea it sucked and it was that big. No idea. So he just called me and said, let's go out to lunch. You've had a long day. And that sounded so good. So I said, yes, free food. I ended up picking him up at the gas station. Mind you guys, you know, we knew each other for like 6 months, but we had never gone past the whole like, you know, maybe like going to like a Denny's with the whole group. Or, you know, like, we had never really gone past that, like him inviting me to things. It was always just, hey, there's a new study. Hey, you want to go travel together? It was more like that. So I picked him up at the gas station. He was washing his clothes, and he said he had already put his clothes back, and he was just at the gas station. So we go to this really good seafood place over by the Galleria in Dallas. It was really busy. The food was great. The gumbo was amazing. I had got like a big thing of like fried catfish, but I didn't like, you know how like places will like fry it, but they won't season it. That was the bull that was going on here. So I ended up giving it to my brother. But one thing I have to note, when we pulled up, his sister called because she needed something from him. So at the end of the conversation with his sister, he says, all right, listen, I gotta go. I'm on a date. On a date with who? There was only me. There was only my car. And there was only him. So who are you on a date with? I ignored that. I ate. And after we left, you know, I was like, okay, so where do you want me to drop you? He said, no, like, let's go somewhere. Let's go to the movies. Come on. So I said, okay, sure. You know, let's go to the movies. We go to the movies. We go see, like, the first one. We had got, like, Slurpees, popcorn. It was so much fun. It had really gotten my mind off of the day, like, honestly. We see, like, The Witches. Then he's like, let's go see another one. So I said, okay, cool. We go see, what is that, Leonardo DiCaprio movie? And then we go see a third movie. It was like The Boy Behind the Door. Then we go see a fourth movie. He's like, let's go see another one. At this point, I was like, okay. Like, I was really not trying to be rude. Like, I'm really not, like, a rude person. But I do need to learn to start saying, like, you know, but it's like but I'm not, like, having a bad time. So it's like, I don't beat myself up over it. So I just said, sure, you know, let's go see something else. We're literally already there. I like going to the movies to go chill, whatever. We got some more Slurpees. We filled on our popcorn. And, you know, we get to the last movie. He starts kind of like, he puts his hand like this. And when he does that, like, he's sitting right next to me, so his hand is, like, on my breast. Like, I don't even know how to explain it. Like, okay. Yeah, exactly. So his hand is here, and you guys can see, like, obviously my breast. Like, his side of his hands were, like, on my breast because his arm was like this on his own arm. So I felt really uncomfortable. I kept telling him, like, stop doing that. Like, stop it. I had on, like, this gray, ugly ass tank top, y'all. I was hoboing it out. You guys know my typical, like, I have a hobo standard that I go by. It's the hobo hat. It's like the, whatever ugly ass shirt and some sweatpants. The most unflattering, like, not those cute Fashion Nova ones. Ugly ass sweatpants. And I'm just giving you guys an aesthetic to see, you know, what I look like. So I'm like, stop doing that. You're trying to cop a feel, and I don't like it. So, you know, he stopped. I just told him to, you know, he backed off. Then he brings out these refilled waters. He was like, you want some water? He kept offering me water. I said, no. You know, after a while, by the fourth movie, I said, sure. You know, I twisted it, but it was already open. So I closed it, and I set it down, and at the end of the movie, I gave it back to him because I was like, nah, I don't like refilled water from strangers. We leave the movie theater, and I'm like, okay, so it's time to take you home. I'm not necessarily trying to rush him, but we had been at the movies for, let me see, 4 movies could easily be about 7 hours. We were at the movies. So it's nighttime, and he says, okay, there's one more spot. Let's go to KFC. I don't turn down KFC. It's like this man knew all my triggers. The laziness of the movies, breeziness of the KFC, the good sweetness of the Slurpees, and the amazing gumbo. Like, gumbo's my trigger, guys. So we get to KFC. I get my typical, like, he said that they have like a Tuesday box. Now I know about this, thank goodness. And you know, we get it, and then I tell him, hey, so like, where do I drop you off at? He says, oh, just go down the street. I'm probably just gonna go to my storage tonight. And I said, what? You know, your storage? I felt guilty. Like, I felt really bad. I was like, oh my gosh, he just treated me out today and stuff, and you know, he's living in a storage. And so I was like, you know what? You can stay the night at my brother's place. He has like an extra bed or whatever. He probably won't mind. He said, no, you know, it's cool. Like, I always do this. So he's kind of like choosing to be homeless. Or, you know, he said that he's really cool with the storage manager, so he does this all the time. So I said, wow, okay, where do I take you? He takes me to the storage. It's actually a nice facility. It was climate controlled and everything. And I was just thinking to myself, like, should I vlog this? And when I went to go vlog it, I did not have enough space on my camera. Really, like, and I just was scared that I was going to leave it. Anyway, I got kind of nervous. I'm not going to lie to you guys. But it wasn't like, you know how you have like that gut feeling of nervous? I didn't feel like I was in harm's way. I just felt like, why do I have to do this? Which I did it. So We get there, I park. I was actually more worried about my car being towed, but then I thought about it. We were inside the gates, and you have to put like a code in the gate, so it's no. We get upstairs to the storage, and I leave my food in the car, but I do take my drink because I get kind of thirsty. But believe me, I have my pepper spray. I was prepared for whatever. And I just walk him upstairs, and I get to the storage, and he has everything kind of like, not necessarily laid out, but he had a lawn chair. And he was talking about how he wanted to get a futon. He had like 2 business rolling. Oh, guys, this story, like, now that I talk about it, like, I'm like, is this what life has come to? Anyway, whatever. So he had 2 business chairs off to the side. I sat down in one because, you know, guys, I'm being down to earth. Not being bougie, as people try to call it, or like, you know, what is that called that people say? Close-minded or something like that. Superficial when it comes to dating. I was not trying to date this man, but you know what I mean. So I sit down and I'm just kind of looking. I was really uncomfortable, but he wasn't sensing that. He's like, yeah, he's like, kind of have a conversation with me. So he gets his futon out. You know, he's talking to me, and I'm just sitting, I mean, not futon, lawn chair. And we're having a conversation, and he's talking to me about, you know, his plans or whatever. He was actually in another study at the time. Like, we were doing outpatients, but sometimes people do other studies inside of a study. So he was in a study for like $8,000 at the time. So obviously the man could easily go and get an apartment. He just wasn't doing it. I mean, he just wasn't. After a while, I was ready to go home. I was actually on my period, and I think that was why. I just thought about it, guys. This is why I wasn't really in the mood to do stuff that day, because I was on my period and I just felt uncomfortable standing up and getting back. I wanted to just chill and just hang out. That was it. So I tell him, you know, I'm kind of ready to go home. And he says, no, you should stay tonight. I said, no, I think I'm going to go back home. Yeah, I'm going to go home. And he's like, why? And I said, I don't know, I felt weird, like, denying him, but I didn't feel weird at the same time. I was like, nah, I can't. I said, look, I'm on my period. And then he says, girl, ain't nothing wrong with a little bit of blood. And I said, what? I said, look, son, I have to go. And the crazy thing is that I was getting so tired and I was so full because we had eaten so much crap. I couldn't even eat the KFC, y'all, that night. He started laying out the blankets on the floor, like everything, like putting padding down. I was like, this looks kind of comfortable. And I said, okay, stop. Okay, so anyway, I leave and he says, wait, you know, let me walk you downstairs. So I said, oh, okay, you know, I was trying to like get out of there. He walks me downstairs in my car and he's like, yeah, have fun. We should hang out again. And I said, yeah, that'll be so much fun. So anyway, we hug, and when we hug, he kisses me on my neck. Don't do that. Don't do that. Why? Why did you have to do that? Like, that just, and I have not hung out with, let me finish the story. Okay, so he does that. And I was just kind of like, I said, why did you do that? I said, he was like, I'm just being friendly. And I said, don't ever do that again. I don't like it. And it was like one of those wet kisses. Ugh. I don't like people's like saliva, like wet, cold saliva on my body. Like, that's not my thing. So, yeah, that's like a little qualm that I have. I don't like that. Anyway, especially in the wind. Especially go outside. Don't put your wet, sloppy... Okay, whatever. So, yeah. I leave. I go back to the house. And I let him know that I had made it home. Then the next, you know, and he calls me all the time. I see him at the next outpatient visit and stuff. And I actually just talked to him yesterday because he was telling me about a new study to go into. But needless to say, I just haven't really had time to hang out with him again. Like, I totally would do it again, guys, but I just haven't had time. A couple of reasons why I wasn't really interested in him is because I didn't know that he was 56 years old. I thought that maybe he was like 42, but age doesn't really play that much of a factor. The thing is that I just wasn't interested in him, and I mean, we don't really talk. He doesn't know anything about me. I mean, I know a lot about him. He has like kids. He was married twice. I know some things about him, and he's a very, very, very nice person, but we've never talked outside of study business stuff. So for him to just assume that we were on a date, and he was just literally saying that he was taking me to lunch to make me feel better because I had to try to get a return for my flight, you know, I had, you know, all kinds of stuff was happening, and I was telling him about it. And then I tried to like twist it into a date. And then, like, I mean, I'm pretty sure he was probably expecting some sex in that storage. That is what I just didn't like. I was like, why? Where are people even getting the idea? Like, I never led him on to think that I was interested in more than just, you know, what it was. So, yeah, guys, that was my story about that man trying to sleep with me in the storage. I mean, he's cool. It really wasn't like a bad experience. I really had fun that day, but it just wasn't my thing. So, yeah. Anyway, that was the story. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.